Fear of public speaking is estimated to affect 75% of adults. Rethinking the way we perceive stress may actually improve our physical and mental performance. It may be easier to give in to our fears, but we will accomplish much more in life and feel a greater sense of pride for facing them. For some people, with just a little effort, they have the ability to conquer these fears. For others, it takes a lot more work and some tips or tools for masking these mental pressures. Hello everyone, welcome back to SSBCrackExams. I'm Anuradha, and in this session, I'm going to give you 10 most important tips for better PPDT story narration in the SSB screening test of the SSB interview. Now, let me tell you something about the PPDT test itself. It is conducted on day 1 as the second test of the stage 1 screening series in SSB. It comprises of story writing, narration, and group discussion. The narration is equally as important as story writing and group discussion. And most of the candidates report that delivering a speech or speaking in public is our greatest fear. And yet, the ability to speak in public is one of the most valued skills today. In this session, let's get rid of the fear of public speaking and let's remember the 10 tips in order to deliver the best PPDT story narration in the SSB screening process. So let's start. But before that, let me tell you that now if you're preparing for the different defense competitive exams, we have the perfect solution for you. You just need to log on to our website SSBCrackExams.com or simply download our mobile app from the Google Play Store, where you'll find all the courses pertaining to the different defense competitive exams. You just need to subscribe to the course, and there you can get all the full-length lectures, PDF study materials, quizzes, mock tests, and much more. Also, don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, our Instagram page, and join our Telegram crew. So let's start with the top tips for better PPDT story narration in the SSB interview. Now, first of all, to get the fluency right in the spot and the ability to use your thoughts as well as your written expressions, you need to practice a lot. One way of getting fluency is to practice the story narration and speaking your thoughts freely in front of the mirror or with your friends. You will do mistakes, and that's for sure, but again it will give you a chance to introspect your weaknesses in this context, and you can clear them gradually. You must also remember one very important thing that most of the candidates tend to forget. Everyone will get some time in the form of a short break of around 15 to 20 minutes after your story writing. You can use that time to narrate your story at least 8 to 10 times in your mind or under your breath. We have written the story just a while ago, and our brain needs to develop the familiarity in order to speak it without any hurdle or barrier in the story narration part. You just have to keep on telling the entire story yourself, and you will find that it will help you in your story narration. Third tip to remember is that confident narration by the candidate is a way forward to go in the story narration. Therefore, you should be able to greet the group in a bold manner and narrate the entire story without fumbling. It can be done in a power pack manner by remembering that you don't have to address the assessors, but rather your group sitting all around you. Maintain a light smile coming from your heart during this entire activity. Next tip to remember is that when it comes to addressing the group in an effective manner, you have around 1 minute to narrate the story in an active way. You don't have to take the long route by wasting time in introducing yourself. You can start the narration by simply saying, "Good morning, gentlemen," or "Good morning, ladies. I have perceived X number of characters. Their age is around Y years, and the combined mood of the picture is seemingly positive." This could be a better start for your story narration, and it's simple yet effective in the approach. Number 5 tip is that the assessors have no time as well as the inclination to listen to the extra part of your story in the form of greetings, as there is a large crowd of candidates in the screening test, and they are just checking for the basic level of intelligence as well as the perception of the candidate over there. The candidates in screening should speak to the point and in a concise manner without slipping off the extra words that don't hold any value. Also, you should know how and when to conclude and stop the narration while the dice is still in your hands. The next step to remember is that we all know that you have just a single minute or less time. So you should narrate the summary and main points of your story, because all the assessors want to know is about your thoughts regarding the picture. You don't have to speak line by line or simply copy the entire stuff from the story written on the sheet. You should know the brief of the story and should focus on speaking only the major points that can be covered well within the time limit. The next tip to remember is that what attracts everyone to you in the story narration. This may be a very common question that have already arisen in the minds of the candidates. Well, it's very simple. The answer is, it is the way that you narrate the story. A candidate with cool and calm composure, having good control on flow in narration, and giving equal attention to everyone attracts other candidates and the assessors alike. Also remember, the best way of narrating the story is to keep your ears and mind open to everyone's stories and then approaching the group with a hint of a personalized approach in your way of narration. You do not try to outsmart everyone else or prove that you are much superior to the rest of the group in any manner. Also remember that your voice should be loud and clear enough so that your group of 12 to 18 candidates along with the 3 assessors can hear you clearly. You should be able to modulate the tone of your voice and know when to raise the tone or when to keep it passive. The way of speaking along with the tempo of your voice should be soothing and should be oozing with confidence. Also, last but not the least tip to follow is do as you are asked to do and follow each word of instructions carefully. The candidate should address their group and not the assessors. Many candidates feel that they need to narrate the story to the assessors or they simply want to see the reaction of the assessors while they're narrating the story. Well, my advice is not to do that at all. And the best way to deal with it is not feeling like a test is going on, but narrate it with confidence just like you're talking to your friends but in a formal manner. So I hope whatever tips I have discussed in this session will be quite useful to you and that you'll practice these tips in your home while you are practicing for the story narration in PPDT, because this will really come handy for your narration and group discussion part in the PPDT of the screening process of SSB interview. If you're preparing for your SSB interview and you want to do that in a much more effective way, you can order these books off from Amazon and Flipkart. So order these books today and you can be very easily be performing and giving you very well in the actual SSB interview, particularly in the PPDT section. So I'll see you next with something more interesting and helpful for your SSB interview and also for your written exams. Till then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams and always stay motivated. Jai Hind.